I like saying the truth flat out, so here goes. President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are the two most deserving world leaders to receive the Nobel Peace Prize, with 3 historic normalization peace deals between Israel and Arab Muslim countries already completed, and more potentially on the way, including Saudi Arabia. Yet, both President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are the most smeared, hated, and legally pursued leaders by the ideological camp that actually preaches peace and human rights. Not only does the agenda-driven media downplay the seismic shifts in history by these two leaders, but their reporting also convinces their viewers how evil they both are. As Shakespeare said in Hamlet, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. And it is utterly shocking seeing so many thinking people totally ignore reality and trust the perceived reality of the media instead. Humanity owes a huge thank you to both of these two unbelievably historic leaders, and we have not even finished seeing what they will continue to do together. Interestingly, if you look back at President Obama, who received the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing. As Wikipedia explains, the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to United States President Barack Obama for his, and I quote, extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between people. You hear that? Efforts. He received the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts. No successes, just efforts. Yet, under the Obama presidency, there were constant wars and bloodshed across the Middle East. No peace. And even with all of his pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop building in Judea and Samaria, the Palestinian Authority still would not come to the negotiating table. He failed to get peace in the Middle East. Yet he received the Nobel Peace Prize? The failed policies of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East for decades, understand, under both Republican and Democratic administrations, was based on a failed strategy that only after establishing a state called Palestine, by first destroying tons of Jewish communities in our ancestral lands of Judea and Samaria, and expelling hundreds of thousands of Jews from their homes, including me and my family potentially, that only then would peace be able to be made with other Arab Muslim countries. That was the iron rule. Yet, President Trump changed the paradigm. He stopped pandering and appeasing the Palestinian Authority terrorists, and instead used the joint threat of Iran as the incentive to develop formal relations between Israel and Arab Muslim countries in the Middle East. And his policy is working. As Secretary of State Mike Pompeo just said in an interview with the National Review, upon asked about deals with maybe more Arab Muslim countries, Secretary of State said, and I quote, "I am confident there will be more nations that will follow. The reason I'm confident, by the way, is because it's the right thing for those countries to do." End quote. And as the Assistant Secretary of State Clark Cooper just said today in an interview with the Israeli paper Yisrael Hayom regarding Saudi Arabia, and I quote, "Normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia is not a question of if, but when." Yes, President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu truly deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. But even if the world does not grant it to them, it's only a prize they give to people who only have effort. Well, they truly are true human rights advocates and peacemakers, even though the whole industry of nonprofit organizations and think tanks that only focus on appeasing terrorists in the name of the fake cause called Palestine, which is truly only about weakening the Jewish state of Israel, even as they continue, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are doing the real work for a long-lasting peace that will not just benefit Israel and those Arab Muslims who choose to make deals with Israel, but the whole freedom-loving world.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.